even over the pod, I want to get better at breaking down what it is that makes someone successful or unsuccessful on a weekend, because drivers do not forget how to drive. Frosty coming second, then being at the back 21st or wherever he qualified at Taupo, everyone, and you know, I fell in the hole. You say, who's underwhelming? Well, Dave. It's like, it is an easy one to go to, but I mean, I remember last year, Frosty won in Darwin, was at the back at Townsville the very next weekend. The bloke doesn't just wake up one day, remember how to do it, and then forget. So
not after 20 years too.
we would like to try and here, I think we can add a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes, and that was what my point was with Triple Eight earlier at that Queensland test. And it's not to harp on about them, it's just the first time I've got to see in 10 years what it is the other guys are doing, and especially that team, because I've always wondered, what are we missing? We're trying so hard, we turn up every weekend, and we've got good people, like it's smaller teams, probably just don't have enough. But it's the 20 years of implementing procedures and building on what you learnt the year before, going to a test day where communication was, you know, better than I've ever seen before. There was no raising of voices. Everyone knew their role. I mean, this is where I felt bad for Luffy. I texted him on the day and said, I feel so bad for you. I had done pit stops under the boom on my first day in February. He did not do a hot stop last year under the boom until Sandown. So we get to a test day, and unfortunately the program gets away from us, and we barely get Luffy in the car. So I've had plenty of running, I've done some pit stops, and I know that heading into Bathurst I'll get plenty of miles in the car because they're not behind. You know, we'd rock up to a test day in the past. Sorry, Luffy, we are trying to fix a problem. We're trying to do this, you know. And then you get to the race weekend, he's underdone, and then everyone says, "Oh, Luffy's lost it."
Yeah.
And that's what really pisses me off.
Which is bullshit, right? We all know
100%.
that. Yeah.
It really pisses me off for this sport because everyone says he's done, and then Frosty goes and gets a P2, and he ran right up there the whole race. Yeah. You know, it's not as easy or as simple a solution. And it's when people call for someone to retire. That's another thing that really pisses me off. Is like, you retire. Whatever your job is, if you're still getting paid to do it, like Frosty's been paid to race for 20 odd years, you know, keep doing it. That's his job. He's spent his whole life being skilled to work in this field. And you see comments say, just retire and give a young bloke a go. Oh, okay, yeah, no problem, mate. I'll give up my whatever $600,000 a year and just hand it over to someone else because you're right. You know, like I'm running 7th. That's shit.
Yeah.
You know, I think that the sport does. So hopefully, we can add a little bit of insight into what it is with teams, and even this year. I'm excited to see what I learn and try and explain. Of course, there's going to be things you can and can't talk about, but I can be pretty transparent in what the differences are up in our pit lane because I've been at DJR, Walkinshaw, Team 18. I'm a little bit of a...
You've been around,
I get around a bit.
You've been around.